So will we see no major reforms take off before the next general elections? Joining me for a special discussion now, Rajiv Kumar, Secretary General of FICCI, Venugopal Dhoot, the CMD of Videocon, joining in from Mumbai, and from Bangalore, Mohandas Pai, Chairman of Manipal Global Education. Thank you all for being with us. Mr. Kumar, if I could come to you first, a very, very strong, candid statement there from the government's Chief Economic Advisor. Don't expect any reforms till 2014. As the representative of a leading industry chamber, FICCI, how would you react to that?
Well, I can't believe that he's made this statement, and I hope he's been misquoted, because this will be, like sort of giving up the ghost of reforms, and I don't think any of us want that to be true. I know that Kaushik believes firmly in reforms, and he may have said this in the context of the fact that there is this bipartisan, there is no bipartisan attitude. There is a very strong division within the parliament, but nonetheless, as an industry chamber, we sincerely hope that what he has said will not come to pass and is wrong, because 2 years more of lack of any progress on the reform side would surely mean a huge knock on investors' confidence and a downward spiral for the economy, which we just simply cannot afford.
Right, we clearly cannot afford it. At the same time, somewhere, Mr. Kumar, we also have to understand that what he may be stating may actually be a reality. It's good that the industry is hopeful, but at the same time, we know the coalition compulsions. We've seen what has really happened to some of the major reforms that the government tried to introduce. Each time it either backfired, or they had to hold it, or they had to go back on some major reforms, like perhaps even increasing rail passenger fares. So in that sense, much as you're disappointed, is it not an honest admission on part of Professor Basu?
No, let me, it's not an honest admission. I think it's more quite a pessimistic sort of, attitude to have taken, a defeatist attitude. If it is true that he said this, I still believe he may not have. And we in the industry have to, live with optimism. And that optimism arises from two facts. See, one, that there are some steps that have been taken by this government which have been quite, quite sort of reformist. For example, the national manufacturing policy, or the, the right to education, the right to information, the public-private partnership that has seen some of the airports come up, etc. So
but
there is movement. Yes, of course.
There's an equally long list of reforms that haven't taken off. Yes, you've mentioned a few, but if we look at the government's unfinished reform agenda, that list is very long, and given the fact that a lot of these require political consensus, where is the hope that this government will be able to achieve it with allies not supporting it?
Yeah, but just let me say this, that one, when the nuclear deal was going through with USA, the same government stood firm and got a new coalition partners to support it. So that's always a possibility, and I think it's just a matter of government's own determination that some actions are absolutely essential today for the national interest. And my hope is that, going forward, let's hope that, after the presidential elections, when the need for dependence on some of the coalition, some of the more fickle-minded coalition members is less, the government will be able to take the bit between its teeth and show determination, because it must be, I think the government has to be convinced, I hope it is, that without these reforms, we're actually at the edge of a precipice. And, and that precipice can be pretty steep and dark out there. So I'm hoping that this government has shown determination before, and after July could go back to that agenda of reforms.
All right, let me bring in Mr. Venugopal Dhoot here. Mr. Dhoot, you've actually gone ahead and said that it's a very irresponsible statement that has been made by Professor Kaushik Basu. He is, after all, representing the government. And if he really tells you, as Mr. Kumar was saying, it's a very pessimistic attitude for the government to have, even though we do know of the coalition compulsions. It's almost like the government's giving up.
Yeah, you see, the government of India has been doing well. 7% growth is there, and this growth they are projecting for 8%, 9% by 2014. This government is a very, very stable government and a stable parliament. So they can do whatever they want. But the Prime Minister nowadays has started saying that he would like to have this growth as an inclusive growth. Inclusive growth means money should go to the people, money should go to those people who are living below poverty line, or so for that they are striving their every nerve, and for that food security bill, a right to education bill is more concentrated. Then reforms are coming. For example, telecom reforms has been announced. There are various financial sector reform, they will also be coming. New companies bill is also coming. So it's not they have stopped or stagnant, but yes, they are getting delayed. Delayed because it is not necessary now because global market is also not that good. Global market is very bad. All over the world, the growth is only 1%. China and India both are growing, and Indian growth trajectory is very good. So whatever Kaushik Basu says has got no meaning, because
let me actually pick up from there and ask Mr. Mohandas Pai. Mr. Pai, what Professor Kaushik Basu says has no meaning. Reforms will take off. A very, very optimistic Venugopal Dhoot there. Would you agree with him? Are you equally optimistic?
No, I'm not optimistic. I don't agree with Mr. Dhoot, because what Dr. Kaushik Basu has said is the truth. It is the situation on the ground. Reforms have been stalled. The government has not demonstrated the leadership to take up reforms. Our democracy has become dysfunctional. The opposition parties are not allowing parliament to function, and the government is not taking a stand. Like Rajiv said, I would like the Prime Minister to go to Parliament and take a stand on a piece of reform, tell his allies that they have to fall in line, and he's going to push it through like he did in the Indo-nuclear deal. And I think that's very important for us to give the sense of optimism, the sense of can-do spirit that we all need. Please remember, even in this budget, they brought in a retroactive amendment which has created a furore. And the government is not looking at it very positively. Instead, they're imposing liabilities to the Indian corporate sector for past acts where there was no law. They're imposing liabilities and reopening assessments, which will happen soon. And this is not the way to do reform. This is not the way to do a positive climate. And
so
what Kaushik Basu has said is the truth. And if you don't accept the truth, don't stand up and say, this is the reality. Let us improve from now.
So are you extremely then disappointed with our reformist, economist Prime Minister, and you believe that what Kaushik Basu is saying is actually a reality? There is a truth in it, and the fact remains that we should not have any hope for any economic reforms till the next general elections.
Well, I am disappointed with our Prime Minister because I thought that in UPA 2, he'll fast-pace the reforms and we'll see faster growth and greater opening of the economy, which is not happening. And he's very quiet. He must leave his imprint behind, and he must do it to accelerate growth. So we need more reforms. Now, am I optimistic that it could happen? It could still happen because all of us have been critical, and I'm sure he'll listen to all of us and put his imprint forward. If you look at the next 2 years, is there a possibility there'll be no reform? Well, I'm optimistic in the sense that there could be reform because 2 years is a long period of time, and the criticism that is coming into this country, people like industry leaders talking up, the foreign investors talking up, everything is sending a message. Come on, get your act together, India, just move. We're all waiting to invest. And I think we need to get the animal spirit back. Just look at the data. Savings rate is down.
Right.
The investment rate is down.
Right.
And if it goes down like this, the growth will come down automatically. So to rise it up, we need some big ticket thing. We need enthusiasm. We need the passion. We need the energy. We need good leadership, not tiredness, not lack of action, not lack of energy, but good leadership, good, strong leadership.
All right, clearly the industry continuing to put a lot of pressure there on the government for the second generation of reforms to take off, but clearly that doesn't seem to be happening, and a shocker of a statement there coming from the government's own chief economic advisor, who says don't expect any big ticket reforms till the next general election. Sorry, we're really running out of time on this discussion. Mr. Venugopal Dhoot, Mr. Mohandas Pai, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, thanks all for joining us and sharing your views.
Do you have the NDTV Profit app? All the markets, all the news and your own homemade, ready-made portfolio available there for you.
We will right now answer what you should sell, what you should buy when markets are down.
Download at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Get the best app from the channel you trust.